Last but not least, you have Pisces rising and sun. This Sagittarius full moon's happening on the 23rd of May in your 10th house. And this is always going to be a bigger deal when you have it in an angular house like this, because it can represent some kind of full moon or culmination. Full moon, it is a full moon, or some kind of culmination of some experience within your career. Before I get into the astrology, I wanted to talk about some of the cards that I'm seeing and then tie things back into the astrology. What was really interesting to me is that I pulled the Tower and the Six of Swords in reverse. So there's definitely something in your life around this time that is going through an ending or a change. You are likely transitioning out of one phase or another. This could be something, in terms of your home. Maybe you're moving from one place into another. Maybe you're changing jobs from one place into another. Maybe you're changing something up about your lifestyle, about your relationship. Usually it's something pretty significant when it's a Tower, or something that that happens suddenly. So, or something that we know we need to change, but we're resisting, which can sometimes happen with the Six of Swords in reverse. So it depends on where you're at psychologically with this transition, but there's something that's wanting to end and move into a different type of thing for you. Or this could have been your past as well, but I feel like for most of you guys, there's some kind of ending happening around the time of this full moon. And this could be, again, something that then changes up your life goals and your objectives, because the 10th house isn't just career. It's also about where we're headed, where we see ourselves in, a year from now, 10 years from now. And so there's something in your life that I feel like is shifting for you that is then going to alter your perception of what you're reaching for. And I definitely see that with the Page of Pentacles and Two Wands. I feel like there is some kind of new opportunity coming for you, or some kind of idea that you have the potential to plan right now, which is a very 10th house type of energy. So at this full moon, I do recommend making a plan for whatever it is that you're really interested in and sticking to it. One of the messages that I got with this Mastery in reverse is that there's something in your life where you may have been trying to pursue it without enough knowledge or information. There may be something that you weren't well equipped for, or you were scattered and you were jumping from one thing to another, or where you're really excited at the beginning, but then it kind of sputters out and you lose momentum. That can be a very Aries and Pisces type of situation. So if that's the case with you, this full moon is really trying to have you guys reflect on times in your life when you have maybe given up on stuff too soon, before you reached mastery, before you gave it your all, and really got to see where things were going for you. So if there are things like that in your life where you've kind of half-assed it, or you went in really excited, but then you lost that fire and that passion, this is your time to reflect on that, because this full moon is really about changing our perception, changing our way of doing things in order for our manifestation to come. There might be something that you really want, but you've been unwilling to change your approach, or your perspective on the situation is not going to get you there. It's like you have to question your perspective and view things differently in order to take the right action steps to get there. For example, let's say that you view your, let's actually just use the astrology, and I'll create an example off of that. The ruler of this full moon is Jupiter. Jupiter is at 29 degrees of Taurus, exactly conjunct Venus in your third house. Energy at 29 Taurus is somewhat of this kind of chaos where we have to get out of the Taurus energy, which is quite stuck, quite rigid, where we can be overly attached to our way of doing things. This is in the third house of our mind. So you can be attached to the way that you are perceiving things, the way that you talk to yourself about things, as well as how we react to our environment around us, how busy we are, the things that we're committed to. So for example, if you are somebody who is always busy, you have all these hobbies, or you have a bunch of things that you're responsible for, and you're always busy after work, you're running errands, you're doing this, you're doing that. Maybe you view reality in terms of, I have to do these things. There's no one else that can do this. I have to be the one to do this. And that means I don't have time. And because I don't have time, I can't dedicate it to this long-term project that I want to work on, because I have to deal with this immediate fire in front of me first. And it's you view that situation like that, but then it's always happening like that. So then you're never actually working on that long-term goal. You're always putting out fires. You're always moving from a reactive place. You're always super busy. You're always got a lot on your plate, and you're expecting that, well, one day I'll have more time. One day I'll be able to focus on this. But the day doesn't come. And it's really that you have to carve out time. But before you can do that is you have to realize that this is an issue of perception, that there's another way of looking at it. Maybe you can hire somebody to help you with something and delegate. Maybe you can get rid of that thing off your plate. Maybe there's a different way of organizing your time, or maybe you can deprioritize that or do a little bit of each. And so there's a sense of needing to get out of stuck, fixed energy with our mind and our perception and our way of interacting with things, and start to question them. How can I go about this differently? How can I interact with this differently? How can I look at this from a more curious perspective, one that doesn't already follow a certain methodology? What if I was a brand new person coming into this and asking myself, how can I get to this long-term goal? How can I achieve this in my current environment? If I was asking a coach, what would they say? Basically, like looking at it through a different angle entirely is going to get you to where you want to go. Or it's at least going to set you up so you can get to where you want to go, basically. So essentially, I really feel like this whole thing is about you guys coming into some level up in your life. With this full moon being in your 10th house, it's about usually having some kind of desire to complete a goal or reach some new level in our life. Maybe a new financial bracket, maybe a new home, maybe a new career advancement, just like literally a level up. And you can't just level up by having your current mindset, which is not allowing you to actually master the thing that you need to in order to progress, in order to evolve. If you're constantly scattered, if you're moving from this thing to that, just trusting your intuition, but it's actually your feelings telling you that you just don't feel like doing that today, or if you're highly reactive and you're super busy and you're just facing everything in front of you, putting out these fires, you're not actually going to become masterful and progress in the area of life that you're looking for. How do you want to level up, and what changes are you willing to make in your perception, your way of doing things, in order to actually make that happen? We also have Mars, Chiron, North Node, and Aries in your second house. So there's a lot here going on around insecurity and lack of confidence in our finances and our self-worth and our autonomy in general, our ability to do things on our own. So this is this very sensitive area. We might feel like things come up that push our buttons in this area. We might feel like like, oh, I'm not worthy of this, or I'm never making enough, or, I'm not good at this, whatever it is. And ultimately, we're really not supposed to get too focused on that at the time of this full moon. We might feel those feelings, but really let them pass and focus more on, how can I get to my goals in a unique way? How can I view my obstacles through a unique perspective so they no longer become obstacles? I pulled a 9 of Wands and High Priestess. This is a cards of having perseverance and trusting your intuition that you are on the right path, that you don't have to question yourself, that you don't have to worry if you're going to make it happen or not, that if it feels right, like intuitively, if you were able to commit to that, it's very likely that it's still the right path. You can check in with yourself periodically from a place of strong faith and intuition, but don't use emotional experiences as fuel for why you can't have something or why you don't want to do something. It's like being tapped into something higher and bigger, which is a Sagittarius energy where this moon is. What's my mission, and what does my intuition say about moving towards that mission? And again, there will be fluctuating moods and things that maybe make you doubt yourself at time or uncertain about if you want to go about it or not. And it's like, what if you kept showing up because you believe so highly in that mission and your intuition is invested in that, regardless of the moods and things that will shift day to day? That is what's going to keep you on this path. So some of you guys really need to recommit. You need to recommit to your journey and to your resilience along this journey, and not let things fluctuating kind of have you doubt yourself so much or get pulled astray and off your path. It's like really having a clear destination and a purpose and a why behind that is going to help lead you. so that you don't give up when things do get hard, because they inevitably will get hard. And that if we make stories that it's hard because we're not good and it's hard because we shouldn't be doing it, then it's going to derail us and we're never going to get anywhere. Because every story, I mean, every path has hardships. So if we make that part of the journey and we realize that's part of the story, is it's supposed to be hard and this is what I get out of it, then it makes it easier so that when we confront that, we don't start to internalize that and derail our whole path, like I said. Okay, so to wrap up, I'm going to have you guys ask one question about your manifestation, about timing, advice, something like that. And then I'm going to pull a card for that question. So what is your question? Ask it now. Pause the video if you need to. All right, we got, if you believe. Exactly. All of this is about our beliefs. Do you believe this is possible for you? If not, you're going to undermine yourself at every turn. You're going to scatter your energy. You're going to flip from one thing to another because you don't actually believe that this is possible when it is. So believe in yourself. You've got this. You can have what you want. Yeah, if this resonates, I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. I am offering 2 new discounted readings. One is a medical astrology reading. The other is a fertility reading. So if either of those interest you, you can check that out in the description box down below. If you don't want to miss any of my weekly forecasts or educational astrology videos, then check out joining my email list. Of course, it's free, and you will get all of these videos straight into your inbox. That's also in the description box down below. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share with your friends, and have a beautiful day. Bye.